Everyone, I'm Jim Longworth, and welcome to another edition of Triad Today. Coming up later on, our infamous roundtable gets together, and we'll see what those guys have to say. But between now and then, some great guests and important information coming your way. We'll talk about grief counseling support with the good folks at Mountain Valley Hospice. David Mounts will be here from Inmar to talk about an important education initiative that's underway statewide. And of course, we'll talk about this really exciting mobile healthcare clinic, courtesy of the good folks at Winston-Salem State University. But speaking of exciting, we're going to start out on a really high note too, because next to me are three guys that are going to tell you about something very fascinating that does a lot of good. On my immediate right, of course, our good friend David Daggett, attorney with Daggett Schuler. Next to him is a special guest of David and Griff's, Mike Ingram, first time here on the show, and Mike is vice president of the Triad chapter of something called Pink Heels organization. Next to him, of course, our good buddy Griff Schuler. Welcome, guys. Good to see you.
Hey, Jim.
Good to be here.
Mike, I'm going to start with you, because if I don't, people are going to look at the TV and say, wait a minute, why are you talking to David and Griff? There's a pink guy in the middle. What's the mission of Pink Heels?
Triad Pink Heels, we are here to support women and individuals that have cancer, not the cure or the cause. There are several organizations that do that. We're here about the individual, the women that have all types of cancers.
And what do you mean by that? You're here for the individual. If somebody I know, a lady has cancer, she's coming out of chemo or something like that, what's your role?
We go out and, like I said, you set up an appointment. We take the pink fire truck. We dress our people in the pink fire gear. Firemen, which are police officers, firemen, and paramedics. We go out. We deliver hugs. And so, like I said, we will support the individual. If somewhere down the road they need some type of assistance with maybe some bill payments or food or whatever, house cleaning, transportation, that's where our fund.
So you can help raise money for it?
Yes, sir.
Well, that brings me to the next thing, because I think this is really important. So we're talking about fundraising. David has a personal role in this. There's a big event coming up. Tell us about that.
Yes. So one of the big events for the Triad Pink Heels is their annual 5K race. That is this year, Saturday, March 3rd, 9 o'clock a.m. at Louisville Square.
Okay.
And I get to MC and announce the event.
Wow.
Mike wears his pink uniform. He runs the equivalent of a full marathon, because he runs out and runs people in the finish chute, and he does it all morning long. But I got to tell you, he understated this Pink Heels organization. It's an incredible group. He's a captain with the Winston-Salem Fire Department. The officers, their families, they get together, they wrap their arms around these needy individuals and their families who are struggling, and provide them with the support he mentioned. But more than anything else, it's an emotional support that this community gives. You know, when you see the great big, you're gonna make me cry, the great big pink fire truck come rolling up,
yeah,
it means something to these people who are struggling.
A great safety net. Griff, why is this important that you and David support it?
Well, on a personal level, Jim, David and I both have family members as well as close friends that have been touched by cancer and have fought that battle. And so from a personal level, it's very important to us. But I think this personal attention to folks that this group does is really heartwarming for David and me. The love that you see
right.
At this event, at the 5K, seeing folks that are survivors cross the finish line, and these guys coming and helping those that need help cross the finish line is very, very heartwarming.
Mike, before time gets away from us, what kind of things do you need for people to donate? Is it just money? Is it supplies? And what do you need?
Come out and support us. Our 5K, our events, which are held all over the Triad, come out. And secondly, volunteer. Now it's not just firemen, police officers, and paramedics. We take individuals because we've grown so much. We have the need for people to come out, volunteer their time, and give hugs. That's one of the qualifications you have to be in the Pink Heels.
Absolutely.
Give hugs.
Absolutely. That's absolutely. And up on screen, a couple of things. PinkHeels5K.com. Please go to that for more information. And the main website for Daggett Schuler is up on screen as well, DaggettSchulerLaw.com, 336-724-1234. Of course, Saturday, March 3rd, we want you to take advantage of that. David, you don't have to be, I know we're out of time, but you don't have to be an experienced runner like you and Mike.
We have walkers, we have runners, all ages, shapes, sizes. Anybody who comes out, we give them a championship reception at the finish line.
That's great. Pink Heels and the work Mike does, the same kind of work that Griff and David do. They help the community sort of provide a safety net for us in many ways. We'll be right back after this. On Triad Today, I'm so excited about this segment and about one of our returning guests. She's been here before and just a lovely lady. But it's about a mobile health clinic that's operated by Winston-Salem State University. It's a fascinating story. Let's get right to the introductions. Lori Bates, her director, on my immediate right. Somebody's been here before. We love her. Dr. Peggy Valentine, of course, is Dean of Health Sciences at Winston-Salem State University. Next to her is Hillary Smith, who is a clinical lab science major, and she's involved in this. And then Aaron Jackson's coordinator of the Mobile Health Clinic. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Peggy, I'm going to start with you. How did the idea come about for the Mobile Health Clinic? Why, and more importantly, why is it needed and that kind of thing?
Yeah, well, first of all, Jim, thank you so much for having us back on the show. It's great to be here. The mobile unit came about because we have a conversation with folks at Novant Health. In the East Winston community where the campus is located, there's so many people who are uninsured,
Right.
who have limited access to health care, have to take 2 and 3 buses to get to a physician or
Right.
so that we decided we can do something in this community right where people live to make it accessible, to make it free of charge. And through that work, we've been able to reach over 9,000 individuals in this community in the
Wow.
past 9 years.
That's the best kind of outreach I've ever
Yeah.
heard from anybody. Yeah, Aaron, let me slip over to you for a second. Now, what kinds of services? Because people might be wondering, wait a minute, what do you do in this? What can you do?
Yeah, so we provide preventative wellness screenings, which can consist of but are not limited to blood pressure screenings, glucose cholesterol screenings as well, and also we provide height and weight, which would ultimately determine your body mass index.
Right. Let's don't do that for me. But you can do it for anybody else. All ages of people can benefit from this?
Yes, all ages can
So
benefit.
if they live in the area. Now, Hillary, what are your duties aboard the? I've seen some pictures of you, and it looks like a lab setting inside the clinic, and I call it a van or a clinic. What are your duties?
Sir, we do dermal punctures in order to determine cholesterol levels as well as glucose readings.
That's important. That's
Yes.
important. And and of course, y'all do, as Aaron said, all sorts of preventative things. So if somebody's having a certain problem, I guess you might do a blood pressure check or something too, and that kind of thing.
Yes.
But then you can sort of analyze these things within the lab setting too. Now, I'm just guessing, but now what kind of career do you want to pursue after graduation?
I actually plan to attend graduate school and hopefully become a PA, which is a physician's assistant.
Physician's assistant.
Yes,
so you're
sir.
going to stay in that kind of work. And
Yes,
this is pretty
sir.
good preparation for that, right?
Yes, sir.
Aaron, what does the future hold for the mobile clinic? Are you looking at expanded routes or serving more people, or what can you do?
Yes, Jim. Currently, we are in a collaborative partnership with United Health Centers and Southside Discount Pharmacy, where we will be able to expand our services. So in order to do so, we can evolve from our screening services and provide medical services, which
Wow.
can consist of physicals, behavioral health screenings.
So you would have a doctor, an MD,
Yes.
aboard.
Yes.
You don't now, but you would have if you expand.
Yes, correct.
Okay. And when do you think that might come about?
So ideally, we're aiming for April of this year.
April of 2018?
Yes.
And sort of makes it full service then, won't
Full
it?
service.
Peggy, I'm going to ask a stupid question because I think I know what you're going to say, but would you like to see all universities offer that as part of their outreach, or is it practical?
I think that it's a great opportunity to connect with the community, to serve the community. Oftentimes, universities are located in communities and provide no service at all. And so this gives us an opportunity to outreach and provide services to those individuals who have limited access. Winston-Salem State University is the only historically black college and university in the nation that has a mobile unit. And
Yeah.
so oftentimes HBCUs are located in low-income communities where there's limited access for care.
Right.
And so it gives us an opportunity to get out there in the community, provide health care, to help people connect with services they would not ordinarily have
But we
access to.
need them in rural areas too.
We
I mean,
do.
look at the areas that you might cover from Western
Yeah.
Carolina or from App State. I just think everybody ought to do it.
It
but
makes a lot of sense.
I'm not going to preach to you. All right,
Yeah.
as we look at the website, the general website is wssu.edu, but Aaron, very quickly, we're out of time, but is there a specific way people can find out hours of operation?
Yes, they can actually reach me. And my contact information is area code 336-750-3486.
That's not Peggy's home number, is it?
I don't believe so.
All right, thanks. All right, look, if I could applaud loud and not break the microphone, I would applaud loud because
Thank you.
I love what y'all are doing.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
Thanks.
so much.
Hillary, come back sometime with everybody and let's check on your progress too. See how
Okay.
you're doing.
I'll be here.
All right.
Sounds good.
We'll be right back after this. Back now on Triad Today, and so glad to get these two ladies here to help us through a very difficult topic. And let's go to them right now. Lori Bates, our director, of course, on my right, our good friend who's been here many times with us before. Sheila Jones is director of marketing at Mountain Valley Hospice and Palliative Care. And next to her is our favorite social worker. Celine Teague is outreach provider and a representative here today for this discussion that we're having, which is very specific about, again, as I say, a serious topic. But welcome, ladies. How you doing?
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
We hear a lot about drug overdose deaths lately, and we hear about the tragic victims. We don't always hear about the loved ones that they leave behind. So I guess my question to both of you is, what is Mountain Valley Hospice doing to help these folks? Sheila.
You know, part of what Mountain Valley Hospice does as a part of their hospice program is grief support. And so we think about all those loved ones left behind. So we felt that starting a grief support group that targets those specific families is hugely beneficial. We've named that group Solstice, and Celine here, she's sort of our head of that. She's spearheaded that.
And how is it different? Because I don't want to, we've all lost family members, and support groups aren't just for everybody. I guess they're specific, and that's why you're making this one very specific. And what was the thought behind it?
We discovered through some of our other grief support programs and groups that there were some parents who had lost adult children to overdose. And the dynamics surrounding those particular deaths are a lot different from having a child or another loved one who has passed away from a natural death, because you've got all of the stigma surrounding the drug use, you've got the shame of that, you've got the guilt of, was there something more that I could have done to prevent this death?
And that's why you need the separate support group, because I'm not downgrading what I felt in losing a parent, but I wouldn't be able to relate to somebody that lost a child to drug abuse.
There you
go.
So
Exactly.
I see that. Now, are these groups, support groups, readily available? Because I know that's one thing sometimes people ask. They say, gee, I think I need some help. I think I need to go talk to somebody, but now where can I go? So I guess the question is, are they available? Is it just one spot that you have these, or what?
Right now we have a group in Stokes County and we have a group in Winston-Salem. And these are open to anyone in the public who has lost someone to an overdose loss. So this is available to the public. They don't have to be affiliated with hospice in any other way, and they're free of charge to anyone who needs to come.
We didn't rehearse this or anything, but Celine, I'm just wondering, what kind of feedback do you feel you can get from this? Do you think that people feel like by reaching out and sharing that this is helping them work through?
Yes, I do think so. I've had a couple of people, who have expressed to me that it's a lifesaver to be able to come into a room with people who are experiencing similar to them, and to be able to learn from them, but also get support from them and each other. So it's a great group of peers. So there's not the shame. They can openly talk about what they've been through all stages of when their loved one was using, to trying to help their loved one, to finally losing their loved one.
Sheila, how would I be able to get involved with something like this? Would I go through you at Mountain Valley Hospice, or how does it work?
Well, our plans for the future is to expand these groups to other counties because, of course, we serve 17 in two states.
You're everywhere.
We're everywhere. And so why not take this to those other areas, because we're all needing it. And it's just simple, just calling our office and saying, hey, I want to learn more about the Solstice group or the support group, for folks who've survived, losing a loved one to opioids.
Right.
So, and that number is 888-789-2922.
All right, say it for me slow. I'm going to write it down.
888-789-2922.
2922. That's great. And let's don't forget, because we had just a few seconds left, I usually ask you at the beginning, I'm going to ask you now, Sheila, just to remind everybody, in case they haven't experienced what hospice does, what does hospice offer? Who does it serve?
We offer many services providing end-of-life care to those with a terminal illness of 6 months or less. We don't, so we
Right.
do that in that 17 counties with 9 offices and 2 hospice homes. We just got it going on. We can help you out.
You do. And I love the work you do. Up on screen, mtnvalleyhospice.org is the website, and Sheila gave us the number 888-789-29. Did you say
2922.
2922? All right. Thank you, ladies. Thanks for all you do.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after this. Back now on Triad Today, we turn our attention to, among other things, the importance of education. We have a very important man here to help us through that topic as well, our good friend, right on my right, David Mounts, of course, Chairman and CEO of Inmar. Welcome back, sir.
Good to see you, Jim.
I want to talk in just a minute. I want to get to this big meeting that was oriented to education. It was a really big meeting that you hosted recently, and I want to find out more about that. But since we're talking about education, remind us why you decided that education was such an important issue from Inmar to begin with.
Well, you know, we are a company that is at the heart of needing highly skilled, well-trained employees with tech skills, analytic skills, and there is more demand than there is supply of people with those skills. And so for our business and for our company to succeed, we need a strong talent pipeline, and we need people to be coming through the educational process ready with the skills we need to help our business succeed and take care of our customers.
All right, now tell me about the big event that you held, that you hosted, and its import. I understand you sent me an email one day that said something about My Future NC, which is actually an organization that's put forth some kind of an initiative. So tell me about the import of that meeting.
Yeah, so this is a really excellent thing that has happened is we're taking people from all backgrounds, education, business, philanthropy, nonprofit, even across the board faith and government representatives, and we're coming together to talk about the state of our current education system all the way from P, in other words pre-K, through workforce.
Okay.
And we're thinking about what the system is today and what it needs to be to meet the demands of our state and to make our state competitive in the future. And so we've gathered all of these experts, subject matter experts, and we're discussing that, evaluating lots of data, and trying to come up with recommendations.
But now let me play devil's advocate for just a second and argue with you. When you're talking about coming up with a comprehensive plan, all this great stuff you're talking about, I kind of thought, well, maybe didn't that exist already? But I guess it didn't.
Yeah, you know, not many states look at it the way that we are as comprehensively. So you would think that most states have a comprehensive plan, but really what ends up happening is most educational institutions do their own plan. They're done typically in silos. And what we're doing is looking across all of the different aspects of the educational continuum, all the way through from pre-K to workforce. And we're creating visibility by bringing that group together to talk about that and to make it work, and then trying to look at a plan that meets the needs all the way through.
And that's twice you mentioned workforce. So let me jump on that before we lose time. And that is, most people will study what we're doing for pre-K through 12. But you don't leave the adults standing on the outside who need some training.
We can't, and I would say, look, the reality is, if we sort of look ahead to 2030 and the types of work that people are going to need to do, they're going to need to be doing things that robots can't do, that machines can't do, that computers can't do. And so we need, there will always be great demand for problem solvers and people with great technical skills and creativity. What we need to do is remind everybody that we're in an age now where the pace of change is so rapid, the tools are changing so quickly, that you must be a lifelong learner. You must be teaching yourself every month, every quarter, every year. You can't just go to school and think that you're done. You really need to be educating yourself and staying up with these technological changes. We've been stressing that a lot at Inmar. This has been a major theme for us in 2018. But across the board, I would tell you, with the disruption in technology affecting every aspect of business and community, everyone needs to be committed to that self-learning environment.
Yeah, and it's good for business.
It is good for business.
Up on screen, a couple of things I want to share with the folks. 2 websites. One goes to this My Future NC. It's myfuturenc.org. And for our radio listening audience, I'll say it one more time, myfuturenc.org, which tells you about that initiative. Very important. And of course, inmar.com to give you all sorts of information about that great company. David Mounts.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks for all you do.
Appreciate you.
We'll be right back after this. Back now on Triad Today, and it's time for the round table. Before we get to that, just hold up my package of Gorilla Greens. I'm not doing a commercial because they don't pay for it. But I just love these things. That's thought I mentioned it. It's okay for me to mention that,
Wish
isn't
I
it?
had some.
Well, you don't have any. They just gave it to me. Put that beneath there. Oh, I do have something special to plug, but first let's do the introductions. On my right, but always the political left, Ogie Overman is here. Don Martin, the great educator, professor at High Point University and vice chair of the Forsyth County Commissioners, is here. And Keith Cranberry, founder of Helping Hands Consultants, who's doing a lot this year on voter registration. Guys, I want to plug something for Ogie first. Lori, our director, I think we have, and Brian, a graphic or something. What is it?
This Sunday, February 18th, from 2 to 5 at the Carolina Theater, we're having a group sing-along. It's called This Community Sings, with a capital U for stressing unity. We're inviting everybody from the community to come out. We're going to learn 3 songs in 4-part harmony. Carolina in My Mind, Bohemian Rhapsody, and What a Wonderful World.
Wow.
We're going to put it up on YouTube. We're going to tape the performance, put it up on YouTube and live stream. We're going to have preliminaries.
that.
Bands are going to be there. From the singing will start at 3.
Right.
And
I
so
hope
come
people-
on out.
I hope
It's a
people-
free event. Free
hope
event.
People will do that. All right, let's get to the first topic. North Carolina, like other states, says that names of lottery winners must be published, to ensure transparency. But a woman in New Hampshire who won $500 million is suing to remain anonymous. Guys, should the law be changed? Ogie.
I think so. That's a lot of pressure. People get taken advantage of. Everybody in the world comes at you when they know you got money. I think you have the right to remain anonymous.
Yeah, they come after Don all the time because
sure.
he has
Right.
money. Yeah, Don, what do you think?
Well, I think the state can maintain the transparency by having an independent audit firm make sure that there's not something wrong with the winner and connections with the lottery.
And keep their
people.
name private.
Yeah, I think so.
Keith.
I think you should keep the name private unless you want to be public with it. I mean, that's a lot of pressure, and it comes with rewards. A lot of danger it comes with that as well.
I didn't think about that. Good point. All right, next topic. North Carolina is going to pay a former magistrate $300,000 in damages because she had to resign. She says she didn't have to resign, but she did resign. She claimed that her religion wouldn't allow her to marry gay couples. So she felt pressure to resign, and all right. So anyway, the state has now paid her $300,000 in damages. Guys, should taxpayers be paying a homophobe $300,000? Oh,
No, that really rubs me the wrong way, Jim. I mean, this hiding behind your religion to mask your homophobia just makes me kind of sick.
Dr. Martin.
Yeah, it bothers me too, and the state considered appealing and then withdrew and settled. And I tried to think why that might be the case, but I think it's probably because we have a statute now that allows you to not do that.
And even Pat McCrory, who was on the show, told me one day, he said, look, I'm against gay marriage, but they work for the government and they need to marry the people if they come in. It's their job. So I don't know, Keith.
You have a job. Your job is to do certain things, and that's part of your job. You shouldn't be paid for not doing part of your job.
Absolutely.
Yep.
An Ohio man sentenced to die for murdering a Boy Scout a couple years ago has been taken off death row because he has a low IQ. The court says the man is, quote, too intellectually disabled to be executed. Guys, do you think a murderer should be spared the death penalty because of his IQ? Ogie.
Well, it's a tough call, but honestly, so many people back in the first part of the 19th, 20th century were executed, and they were really should not have. I think life in prison
Might
would
have
be
even
fine.
been innocent.
Yeah.
This guy, of course, admitted he's guilty, but Don.
Or didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
I agree completely. I think you can be. It's not for reason of insanity, but it is mental disability.
Keith.
I think this is a perfect example of why mental health is so very important in our society and is overlooked a lot, and there's not a lot of money put into mental health, and I think
Right.
that's wrong.
Of course, the mother of the slain Boy Scout doesn't agree with any of you guys, but we understand that too. A Twitter campaign, on a lighter note, a Twitter campaign is pushing for UNC Charlotte to drop the UNC from its name, call it the University of Charlotte. They don't like Chapel Hill, is the bottom line is. Are you guys okay with a name change? Will it happen, Ogie?
No, I'm not. Actually, I was involved in when the whole university system was formed, when East Carolina was trying to get university status. And if you're going to be a part of the university system, that UNC is part of it, the way it goes.
But App State is part of it, kind of, and they're not.
Well, but they grandfathered them in. So.
Yeah, all right. Don.
I'm probably okay with it. I mean, I think you can still have a state institution but have a different name. It's a little bit about marketing and branding.
They don't want to be confused with Chapel Hill. Keith?
Are they receiving funding from the university?
Yes.
Then they should name
You know,
UNC.
Don,
Winston-Salem State's not named UNC.
well, that's right. That's right. But Don went to Duke, but after one of the games was State, he wants to change his certificate to NC State, I think was the...
Still not going to change the fact that
How
it's
much time
Charlotte.
we got, Brian?
No,
The
he
University of
doesn't
Charlotte. They're still
The
gonna
country
not
of
change it.
Chile is waging war on childhood obesity by making it illegal for companies to market sugary foods. It's gone so far that companies have been forced to remove Tony the Tiger from cereal boxes. Is Chile going too far, or should we follow their lead? Quickly, Ogie.
I think, honestly, I don't. I think to market it is wrong. It's a killer. It's a killer. There's substitutes out there.
Don,
I have no problem. There are no cigarette ads now.
follow Chile.
I mean, I have a problem with that. I mean, parents should be looking at what their kids eat and making sure they eat the right thing.
I agree. Keith and I are on the same track today. Finally, guys, an elderly couple from Nebraska was recently pulled over by police who discovered they had 60 pounds of marijuana in their car. They claimed the bags of pot were gifts for friends. Guys, have you ever given pot as a gift? Ogie.
I refuse to answer on the grounds that it might tend to incriminate me.
The statute of limitation. Don.
I've given pot holders, but
Not pot holders, but not pot. Yeah. Keith.
No, I haven't, but I've seen people smoke pot, but I haven't.
If you were, I should have asked the question different if you were given, anyway. All right, well, that's all the time we have, except for this. Last week, an Alaska Airlines jet bound for Seattle had to return to Alaska because a naked man barricaded himself in the lavatory. In his defense, Keith Granberry said he thought it was a clothing optional flight.
Why'd you have to put my name in there? Why did I have to be in it?
Yeah. All right, we're all going to go out and eat sugary cereals. For all of us here on Triad Today, I'm Jim Longworth. We'll see you next.